Where'd he go? He's gone.
Oh, man. Oh, there he is.
There he is. He's back.
Is he frozen? Oh, there we go.
No, he was still looking. I think he was looking at us. I don't think it was frozen.
Well,
where the fuck are you that it's still sunny out?
I'm in Florida.
So you must... In the beginning, there was baseball. It is Wednesday, December 9th. Where have we been? We are alive. I'm somewhere where it's dark out. Evan's somewhere where it's daytime out. How the fuck do time zones work? I don't even remember if I have any more lines, but you can catch me at CJ in Pinstripes on the Twitter. And I am, of course, here with Evan. How are you doing, Evan?
Doing good. You can follow me at Evan D. Wetzel 4 on the Twitter.
You almost forgot your own Twitter handle. You almost forgot the 4.
I'm having a good time in Florida. I forgot where you were going to do the show today. I woke up about 5 minutes ago from a glorious nap.
Excellent. You're still missing something. There's something you still need to say.
This is 27 Down, the perfect podcast with the perfect game.
We are rolling. Hey, everyone. Did you know that the Dodgers won the World Series? Because even if you watched, you might have forgotten by now. How lame was that World Series?
Ugh. It was terrible because it's funny. I've never hated the Rays as much as I did this playoffs. They were just obnoxious to me. So I'm glad they lost, but it was a boring World Series. It should have been Yankees-Dodgers. That's all anyone wanted to see. It didn't happen because Rob Manshits is an asshole.
Well, in reality, it happened because the Yankees tried to get cute and put J Happ out there.
And you know what's ridiculous about the whole move? They tried to pretend like they had created something so clever that Tampa Bay didn't see it coming. All they had to do was check my Twitter account. We talked about this fucking stupid idea 2 weeks before they did it. Like, you and I even talked about this, bro.
You are not going to outsmart the Rays. They are one of the smartest teams in baseball. Kevin Cash is one of the smartest managers in baseball. He has an answer for every trick that you have. Why are the New York Yankees, with the hitting that they have, with the players that they have, with the incredible bullpen that they have, with the solid pitching that they have, their pitching's not terrible, with a really good team, why are you playing cute?
Yeah.
Why do you feel that you need to resort to that? Your only way of beating the Rays was to just go out there and beat the Rays.
No, Toronto tried the same little thing against Tampa Bay in their first round against them, and it didn't work. It's like, why are you trying to beat the Rays at a system that the Rays invented? Like, this analytics is them, which they had to do because they're a small market team. We're trying analytics when we don't really need it all the time. We are a team that relies on hitting the home run ball and occasionally has really good pitching. And we forgot about both of those traits, tried to do what the Tampa Bay does, and it didn't work out because Tampa Bay saw it coming, as did the rest of us.
Yeah, I would say that analytics, for the most part, over the course of a season, I'm all in, man. I'm all for it. But if you're going to play these little chess games against, oh, man, good job, you used an opener, excellent work. You know which teams started the whole opener thing in recent years? That would be the Tampa Bay Rays. Because you know why? Because they had Blake Snell and nobody else to pitch for them.
And have you seen all the rumors that link Snell to us? It would be a horrible idea to try to trade with Tampa Bay. They always win that goddamn trade. So what are we going to trade him for Blake Snell? Like fucking I don't know, Garcia and some other bad shit for
Yeah,
Snell,
it would
who's
it
like,
would take it would take a package of players that I don't want to see on the Rays. Let's just put it like that.
exactly.
You know, if it would be a different story if you're trying to make like this little small trade for like a nice relief pitcher, and sure maybe you have to give up a solid piece. I mean, the Yankees traded them Nick Solak. They traded them Nick Solak a few years ago. You'll probably remember that.
Yeah, I do.
That was a minor move. I would have been okay with that. Now Nick Solak is looking like a pretty solid player, but he's with Texas now, so who cares?
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird stuff. I mean, just the fact that you even brought up the Blue Jays, like I forgot they even made the playoffs.
Yeah, isn't that it was a very weird year where pretty much everyone made the playoffs. I mean, we almost saw the Houston Astros make the World Series. I would have not watched. I would have been so fucking over it.
Yeah, that would have been bad. That would have been really bad if a team that was pretty poor all year long only made the playoffs because of how wacky this schedule was. If they would have made the World Series, I mean, what a disaster that would have been if they won that thing. That would have looked really bad for baseball if the team that you just caught cheating and you didn't really punish ended up winning another one.
I mean, I don't know how it would have been handled. I know the fans would have, at least I would have overreacted and flipped a shit on Manshits. I mean, he really would have been the biggest doofus of 2021 if the Houston Astros won.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of Houston Astros, AJ Hinch is back, baby. Not with them, but he's going to be the new manager of the Tigers. That was real weird.
It's so fucking stupid because you knew it was going to be back, but I'm shocked that it was the jackass Tigers. They're just like, we'll be a scumbag team now. We don't give a shit.
Yeah, but I mean, like, of all teams that could use a manager, it's a little surprising that the Tigers were the one to land him. It doesn't really seem like the right fit. I mean, that team has some young guys that maybe could be okay, but that's a team that's even their youngsters are really like quad A kind of players. And I don't know what you're expecting to get out of a manager like him.
I mean, Detroit was really left in shambles by Dombrowski when he left for Boston all those years ago. And they're still just getting over that hump. I mean, they thought Michael Fulmer was going to be their ace, and he can't even be their number 5. So,
yeah,
you know.
I'm going to go ahead and defend Dombrowski because Dombrowski wanted to tear the team down. I'm going to say that was Illich's fault. He didn't want to blow up the team. But hey, then again, Dombrowski goes to Boston and does the exact same garbage. So
I mean, he does it everywhere. He does it everywhere. I don't understand why people acted surprised when he went to Boston and got them a World Series by doing literally the same thing. The only difference is he had more money to do it, and he already had talent on the team. So it's like it was a little easier, but he still did the same formula.
Yeah, it was fun to watch. Speaking of how weird the playoffs was, I mean, you remember when the Marlins almost made it to the NLCS?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? What happened in this season? Half of the Marlins team died of COVID. Like, how did they make it so far?
Yeah. I mean, it was funny because half their team died, and yet we still saw a bunch of really talented young guys come together and put together that season. But it's like, it's hard to give credit when it was a 60-game season and everyone made the goddamn playoffs. It's like, how can you really determine if they're good or they just got lucky based off of that bullshit?
Yeah. I'm taking a look at where you are.
Houston got lucky, dude. They manipulated a bad schedule, and then they played like a playoff team because they've been a playoff team the last 5 years, so it's not that hard.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm actually right now I'm taking a look at where you are. For those, I'm not gonna blow up exactly where you are, but Evan is a lucky bastard. He's in Florida right now, and I'm taking a look at the area in Florida. That is a really weird looking stretch of land.
Yeah, it's a very small island, dude, and it's very rustic. There's not much on the island.
And for some reason, Google Maps wants to tell me that there's a place called the Mighty Duck on the island.
The Mucky Duck.
The Mucky Duck?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't read. Yeah, the Mucky Duck. I thought it was. I mean, that's a cool name too, but I thought it was the Mighty Duck. I was a little
Yeah,
more.
no, we have the Mucky Duck and the Green Flash, and they're the two best restaurants on the island.
Interesting.
Mucky
How do
Duck
you
is-
get there? Does it have an airport?
No, you have the airport's in Fort Myers, and you have to drive.
Oh wow. Okay,
It's a good
I see Fort
45
Myers
minute
now.
drive.
Oh, is that all? It seems like it should be so much more, but I guess that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, well, once you get to the island, you can only drive about 35 miles per hour. So it takes a while to get here, and you got to go over the big long bridge.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
It looks nice. It looks nice, at least behind you. That looks
Yep.
like,
Behind me is the beach.
Yeah,
That's-
I figured. I figured that's actually what's right next to the ocean. Yeah, I got that part.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
what if it wasn't a beach? What if it just like turned into grass?
that would be bizarre because you're right next to the ocean. I mean,
There's no beach, bro. It's just
Really?
grass.
oh, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's cute. Hey, you want to talk free agents?
I do. I think it's very frustrating that we haven't already re-signed DJ LeMahieu, but what people need to understand is the market for free agency hasn't really opened yet, and DJ wants to test his value regardless. I think this is something that's going to get done before New Year's, but that's just me. I think that DJ's value is already basically set in stone. They just need to figure out a way to get him locked up and still be able to make the other moves around him.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see a free agency that's going to be a lot like a few years ago when everything was really stagnant. Yeah, you might see some guys go a little early, but I think there are going to be a lot of guys that are signed right before spring training for a couple of reasons. One being that, like you said, players don't really know what to expect from the market. They're going to have their asks, and we're going to see if teams are going to be able to meet them. Also, teams lost a lot of money last year. So who knows if teams are going to want to splurge the same way that they do. And I guess that kind of goes back to point number one, because if players want their payday and the teams can't come anywhere close to meeting it, it's going to be kind of like a free agent Cold War.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think the Philadelphia Phillies announced that they lost so much money that they have to basically go in a different direction. That stinks for Philadelphia, but that means they're not going to sign JT Realmuto. They're probably not going to bring back Didi. They want to get rid of Wheeler if they can. I mean, they're really, really hurting there in Philadelphia, especially after making the Bryce Harper move 2 years ago, which is the market that you were talking about, which was really stagnant with Machado, Harper, and even DJ. Well, DJ wasn't the number one free agent then. Machado and Harper were. Well, now it's kind of DJ and a bunch of other guys who are, I guess, you can call them tier A, but this is a rather weak free agent class all around. It's pretty weak for pitchers. I mean, Trevor Bauer is the number one ace, and I'd say DJ LeMahieu is the number one offense player.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I'm looking at MLB trade rumors, top 50 free agents, and man, if Adam Wainwright is number 35, I didn't even know the motherfucker was still playing. That's all I'm going to say. The fact that he's that high up, I thought his arm fell off 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So why don't we do this?
I think we're waiting on the trade market to heat up. I think that's going to be a big part of this offseason because, like you said, teams don't really want to spend that money if they don't have to. I think it's going to be a lot of those non-tendered moves. Those guys are going to get signed for pretty cheap deals. I know Chris Bryant is an interesting one. Schwarber is going to be interesting. Guys like that. But I think there's going to be a lot of cheap deal. Paxton's probably going to get a 1 year, $10 million type of deal, you know?
Yeah. So why don't we do this? I'm going to start at number one, and we'll see how far we go until we get bored of this. I'll go through their top 50 free agents. We'll try to guess where they'll go, and we'll see what MLB trade rumors have to say. So why don't we do that? Sound good? Yes, no, sign of life.
Yeah.
Evan, speak you. God, I almost called you a really bad name. All right.
Now I'm annoying you. I like it.
So we all know who number one is. Trevor Bauer is number one on this list. Where do you think he's going to go?
Back to Cincinnati, probably.
Really? You think since he's going to sign him?
I do and I don't, because I also heard the rumor that they were trying to trade Sonny Gray again. So I don't. It'll be interesting to see how they want to handle this. I think they're another team that's right on the cusp of breaking over to be something great. But in order to do that, they need to sign Bauer. I think Bauer is really important in the rotation. So I would give him a 4-year deal unless he's only going to be taking his 1-year deals. If he only takes his 1-year deal, then you give him 1 year 30 and you say go for it.
Yeah. So before I give mine, maybe the Reds can trade Sonny Gray to the Yankees. All right. So I think Trevor Bauer will go to. I think it's going to go to the Mets, man. I think the Mets are going to sign him. I think that Steve Cohen understands that he needs to make a splash as the new owner, and I think he's going to tell his GM, "This is our number one priority. We've got to make it happen."
I think the Mets are going to sign a bunch of people from this list, but I do not think Bauer is going to be one of them.
I mean, I know Trevor May is on the list, and they've already signed him.
Yes, I believe they're also going to get Springer and JT Realmuto.
Interesting. Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'll go on to the next person who is JT. Oh, by the way, MLB Trade Rumors predicts the Dodgers to sign Trevor Bauer. I don't know which corner of their butt they could have that kind of payroll, but
yeah, they're going to take the money from Dave Roberts, that stupid bum who doesn't deserve a World Series. Now people are going to say he's a good manager because he has a World Series, and it pisses me off because he's one of the worst. He sucks. He sucks balls. He's Bobby Valentine level.
Well, I mean, I think he's a good manager because he has a World Series. So if he has a World Series, he's got to be pretty good.
God damn it, CJ.
What?
I know you don't believe that. That's the dumbest thing. Oh, he got one World Series, so he's automatically a good manager. No, that's not. What, are you kidding me? That's not how you judge a manager. You're an analytical dickhead, and you're going to sit there and say, oh, he got one World Series after 15 tries. He's a great manager. God damn it, CJ. I know you're not telling the truth right now. Tell me how you really feel. No. Get back on the camera and tell me how you feel, damn it. You're lying to everyone.
All right. So the number 2 free agent is JT Realmuto. I've already got your prediction.
Yeah, he's going to the Mets. I really feel that's the case.
Yeah, and MLB Trade Rumors actually agrees with you on that. They also see him going to the Mets on a 5-year deal, 5 years, 125. I think that's fair.
I've got insider information if you want it.
Well, you don't.
Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? Oh, it's Joe.
I've got insider info.
What is the background? It looks like a very crappy music album.
Yeah, that
it's me.
Looks like
it's me walking up a hill. I'll be back for the question, but real quick. Today at around 1 o'clock, they said they were going to offer the guy from the White Sox 4 years. Don't know if that worked out.
James McCann?
Yes. Yeah. So they offered him 4 years. Yeah, and they're waiting, for deliberations.
That's very interesting. He's a good player, but I just if I was them, I would go all out for Realmuto and Springer and get that offense a little better.
Well, I mean, if that's the guy they get at catcher and not Realmuto, that probably does open them up for Bauer.
Yeah, I agree. If
they're not stupid and give them top dollar.
They're going to go Bauer to Springer then. I really think they like Springer.
So Realmuto, yeah, I can't see him going back to the Phillies. Mostly because, like you said, they got hit really hard. someone like Real Muto, man, I would not be the least bit shocked if one of two things happens. If he were to just go to the place that can give him the most money, which would be the Yankees, and that would be the Yankees' way of finally moving on from Gary Sanchez, I guess. Or if something really weird happens and he goes to a team like the Blue Jays, who they're on the cusp of being a team that could maybe, like, let's just say this. Every once in a while, there's a team that makes marginal improvements and then just shoots straight up.
Yep.
If the Blue Jays go for a guy like Real Muto, I mean, that could be something that really pushes them into a tier nobody thought they could be in.
You know, I agree with that, but I think they're going to go in a slightly different direction, the Blue Jays. I think they're going to go after a bunch of 1 to 2 year type of deals, try to bridge those gaps for more of their prospects to come up. So what if they did someone like bring back Hap, get Paxton, go after Tanaka? You know, there's a bunch of players on the market like that who are going to get smaller deals. Maybe they'll go after those. I'm trying to think of some of the ARB eligible guys. Maybe they do Chris Bryant for left field or something. You know, there are moves there. Or they do what you just said, and they spend a lot of money on a guy who's going to, you know, really bridge that gap for the next, you know, half decade.
Yeah, and we do have to keep in mind this guy, he's 30 years old now?
Correct.
So he's the kind of guy who he's such a good hitter that even if he declines in years 4 and 5, he's still an above average hitting catcher.
Yeah.
Like, people have to remember that catchers are not known for their offensive prowess. So even a decline from a guy like Real Muto could still be a solid player.
Yeah, and I think he's above average in almost every category. So it's nice to know that you're not going to have to deal with some of the mistakes you do with Gary behind the backstop. Honestly, yeah. I'd love for the Yankees to get him. I just don't think we're going to dish out that kind of money this year.
Yeah, probably not. All right, so number 3 on this list is George Springer. You already feel that he's going to go to the Mets.
I think the Mets need to make 2 impact moves. That's why I think it's Springer and Real Muto.
Yeah. I don't see that happening, mostly because, again, if they've already signed James, or at least nearing a deal with James McCann, I don't see 2 things. I don't see that being an option for them if they have a guy like McCann and now maybe they want to go after Bauer, like I think they will. I don't think they have like all of the money in the world. I could be wrong about that. I also just don't see George Springer wanting to sign with the Mets. I can see other teams offering more. My guess actually matches what MLB Trade Rumor says. They think he's going to go to the White Sox.
Okay, I can see that. The White Sox are going to make some moves.
Yeah, they have to, because they had such a good season. They have to build off of that.
I mean, they already traded for Lance Lynn yesterday.
True. Yeah, Lance Lynn. That's a name I never want to hear again.
I'm so glad that we don't have to listen to that shit.
Yeah.
He wasn't fun here in New York, and then all of a sudden he has a good season the year after, and everyone thinks that that whole year was dreadful for him. He was bad in Minnesota too.
Yeah. All right, number 4, the next person, Marcell Ozuna.
Nationals.
You think he's going to go to the Nationals?
Yeah.
This is a weird one because he was just a couple of years removed from being absolute trash. Like when he was with the Cardinals. So he's been a very strange player his whole career. He's one of those guys that the Marlins built up, and he was pretty good with the Marlins. He goes to the Cardinals and becomes a turd sandwich of a player. And then last year with the Braves, he was pretty awesome. I actually think he's going to stick with the Braves. I think the Braves are going to push hard to keep him. He was a really good piece for them.
He's a good fit for the Braves. That's why I think the other team that could fit him is the Nationals, because they're kind of similar with their making. I remember when he was with the Marlins, he did really well one year. Then the next year, they basically benched him for the whole year for some reason, and he got pissed off about it, and then came back the year after and did pretty well again. So he's always been, that kind of consistently inconsistent player. Because you're right, when he was with the Cardinals, it was other garbage.
Yeah. Especially considering, like, I really think he's going to sign with the National League team, mostly because I think what we're heading towards is universal DH anyway, and that was his primary position this last season.
I hope so, because it fixes up a lot of the issues, especially when the American League comes to the National League. I'm sorry, but I don't want my pitcher hitting.
Yeah, me neither. And look, I'm sorry, guys. It's not the same game anymore like it was 30, 40, 50 years ago when a pitcher could feasibly hit above 200 with a decent regularity. It's not that game anymore. Okay, pitchers make a lot of money. That arm is solid gold, and pitchers do not practice their hitting. I can't stand. Like, I remember when, oh man, who was that guy for the Cubs? He was absolutely insane. Carlos Zambrano. I remember when Carlos Zambrano would go up to the plate. He would hit some bombs. I think one season he hit like 10 home runs, and people would go, "See, he's awesome. We can totally have this everywhere in baseball." No, we can't, first of all. And secondly, now these days, even if you go back as far as just a couple years ago when guys like Madison Bumgarner were hitting real well, I mean, he was hitting well for a pitcher. The guy was still a very bad hitter. I'm sorry, it's done. It's we're a few years away, if not maybe less than that. It just makes sense from all aspects. The players would want it because it extends their careers. The owners would want it because it protects their pitchers from hitting.
I mean, I don't see how a pitcher possibly hitting 10 home runs after a season of all the other nonsense gets you to think that pitchers hitting is fun. That's not, like, it doesn't add anything that much more to the game for me. And yet, if you look on the other side of the equation, look at how much it's taken away. It destroyed Ching-Ming Wang's career. I will never get over that. This was a guy who had almost 3 seasons in a row where he's the most dominant pitcher, and then he tears his ACL and he can never do it again because it's all uncomfortable, wobbly, and unstable on the mound. And it's not fair to him. He was asked to do something that he never should have been asked to do, and it ruined his career. And we're not talking about someone who has $325 million like Garrett Cole, because if that happened to him, there's no insurance policy. We're fucked if we lose a pitcher like that.
For sure. I mean, technically the Yankees do have insurance on his contract in the form of if he were to get injured.
That we do. I just meant if we lose someone of his caliber, you don't automatically have someone in our organization who can now be that guy. We would have to find him somewhere else, and it would absolutely suck. And the problem is with Ching-Ming Wang is he was about to get paid and then never got to. It literally ruined the dude's life.
It makes me sad. I don't like to talk about him.
Oh, it crushes me, dude. He was my favorite pitcher. It literally ruined his life.
It was one of the heaviest sinker balls I've ever seen. And
he destroyed bats with that nonsense. And the ground ball outs that he got were phenomenal.
Yeah. For what it's worth, MLB Trade Rumors agrees with you. They see Marcell Ozuna going to the Nationals as well.
Cool.
And now we are at number 5, the player that I think you're going to have a lot to say about, DJ LeMahieu.
Yankees 5 years.
Yeah, I think he's going to go to the Yankees too. I think they'll keep him. I don't know about 5 years, but
it will be a fifth-year option.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, it's really crazy how this guy leaves Coors Field and gets better.
By a lot too. Like, it's so noticeably better now.
He hit 26 home runs in 2019. I mean, how? What if he had made that change to his hitting while he was in Coors? I mean, people would be talking about him as the oldest breakout player ever. And he was already a solid player. It's not like I call him a breakout like he was a scrub.
You know what the problem with DJ is? His personality is so boring and meh that people just don't notice him. So when he was on a team like Colorado, just no one cared. Now he's in New York and like everyone's going, wow, he's amazing. But he is a boring human being. His wife is ugly. And I'm sorry, he's boring. He's a boring human.
What did his wife ever do to you?
She seems lovely, but have you seen a picture of the two of them? He looks like her son.
Oh,
it's a very awkward picture.
Well, I'm going to make sure to avoid that at all costs. Also, for what it's worth.
But I'm thinking 4 years, $85 million with a 5th-year option.
Okay, well, MLB trade rumors actually has him going to the Blue Jays.
They can go suck a fucking dick. He's not going to the Blue Jays. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. They don't need a goddamn second baseman. They got all those stupid prospects of former players that dads were superstars, so they must be superstars too because their dads were superstars. I hate the Blue Jays. They're so annoying, dude. If they get DJ, I swear to God, dude.
I think he'd be a good fit on that team.
Why would you say that? Don't encourage this fucking move. You're a Yankees fan, you dick. You think they'd be a good fit? I run a Yankees podcast, and I'm going to let my Yankees lose to a guy. He's going to go to the division, and it's going to suck balls for 5 years for us. I'm CJ in pinstripes. I'm a dickhead.
Okay, so first of all, we're not a Yankees podcast. We're a baseball podcast.
Well,
Secondly, that was a terrible impression of me. I've never said that in my entire life. Third, it has been too long since I've pissed you off, and I'm just having a great time doing it multiple times.
You've done it twice this episode already, and you haven't even burped or sneezed yet, so this is not looking good.
Sneezed?
Burp, sneeze, fart, your flat pissing me off.
I can't control sneezes. Wait.
Yes, you can.
Yes, no, you can't.
You suck that shit back in and you leave it be.
Oh my God. Hold on. First of all, I remember ever sneezing around you. Secondly, people can't control their sneezes. They just sneeze. They just do it. It's like blinking. You can't control. I mean, you can't control.
You need to learn how to control it around me because your sneezes and everything are freaking annoying.
All right.
God, he did it on purpose. See, I knew this whole segment was you stalling so you could get your stupid burping. I knew it. I knew you were tricking me. God damn it. Make your next point. We're almost over here.
All right.
That was coming. Son of a bitch.
Actually, I think that's a good place to stop because I was going to do Marcus Stroman next, but he took the qualifying offer, so I think it's
okay. So just do one more, and then we'll call it a day after Joe's question.
Fine. Well, the next one is Ha-Sung. I can't pronounce the dude's name. Ha-Sung Kim. He's actually from the KBO. He currently plays for the Kiwoom Heroes. 25 years old.
I was watching the KBO and I remember seeing Kim a lot, so he might be one of them.
Yeah, so the scouting report on this guy is that while being as young as he is, he's a power bat, he's fast. He is, I'm trying to figure out what he is, blah, 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 and defensive aptitude at a premium position. Can you tell me what that position is? I don't know much about this guy.
I believe he's an outfielder, but I'm not sure.
Ha-Sung Kim is it says he's a designated hitter on Fangraphs. That can't be right.
Who's good at defense? That makes sense.
Yeah, so that can't actually be what he does.
I love a good defensive DH.
Yeah, being so incredibly good. Oh, okay, I see it now. He plays shortstop, or at least that's the position he has played the most in years.
Shortstop and DH. That's interesting.
It is. According to this, he doesn't really play much DH, so I really don't know why they have him listed on Fangraphs as a designated hitter. He also has some. He also played some third base this past season, so I guess he's capable of playing both.
Right.
So that's a good thing. I mean, if he's got power, he's probably got a powerful arm. So now we just got to think about teams that could use a shortstop or a third baseman.
Yeah, I was hoping that we were going to get to some pitchers on this list because I think a bunch are going to try to go to San Diego. I think San Diego is one of those teams that really showed some excitement last year, and if they can get a pitcher or two, maybe they can come something. because you can't keep relying on the young guys they have there, and Clevenger's going to be out for a while.
Right.
Like if they got Paxton or something like that, that'd be helpful for them.
Sure. I mean, I would hate to see it, but even a guy like Tanaka.
Ugh. I just want DJ and Tanaka to be re-signed because I can't fathom seeing them on another team. That shit will hurt so bad, especially Tanaka and DJ. But anyone else, I don't really care about.
Yeah. All right. So this guy, I don't know. It's so hard to say who he's going to go to. I mean, according to MLB trade rumors, he's going to go to the Rangers. But what I can actually see happening is if DJ, for the love of God, I hope it doesn't happen, but if he were to not sign with the Yankees, I can see the Yankees trying to go after Andrelton Simmons, and then I can see the Angels trying to go after this Kim guy.
Yeah, or Didi. I think Didi's probably going to land with someone like the Yankees or the Angels or, whatever. I want DJ back. And
it would be nice.
A lot of people want to trade for Lindor, but the problem with that is we do not have the money to give Lindor that extension. And who you're going to trade Torres for him? I think we have a lot of options to trade for Lindor. I just don't think it's smart.
Yeah, probably not. All right. I don't know. If you want to do a pitcher, I can go to like the next available pitcher.
Yeah, just go to a pitcher real quick. We'll end on that, and then we'll do Joe's.
Gosman, but he took the qualifying offer. It's Tanaka. Tanaka is the next top pitcher that's available.
Do after Tanaka.
Okay, so I will say this. I think Tanaka's going to come back to the Yankees.
I do too. 3 years, $50 million.
Odorizzi.
Good one. I think he's going to the White Sox.
Interesting. Okay. I actually see with Odorizzi exactly what you've already said. I think San Diego will try to snatch him up.
Yep, that's a good one too.
He's I'm trying to figure out how old he is. He's got to be in his early 30s.
Yeah. I also like Bundy for San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking Odorizzi and Hendricks.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
Oh, Hendricks actually happens to be the next guy on this list. So
that's a good Hendricks I could see in San Diego too. Yeah. Okay, Joe, do your question, and then I'm going to go eat dinner.
All right, I'm back. Here I am. Now I'm really back. All right.
Awesome.
Thank God.
You look happy.
Let's see how good this is. No, he's just really happy because I burped in his ear. That's all.
If you do it again, I swear I'm gonna break this computer and you won't see me for like a month.
All right, guys. No fights. No fights.
I'm not fighting. No. I didn't do anything.
All right. Uncle Steve is in town.
Who the fuck is Uncle Steve?
Uncle Steve Cohen has taken over.
Oh, is he the one that Uncle Steve?
Internet.
Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen. Okay, again, my bad.
Anyway.
Joe does not endorse my jokes. Anyone who's listening, Joe does
I didn't see any of that because my internet wasn't working. You guys were both frozen, but I'm back now.
Oh, yay. What a joy. I'm so sorry. We're stopping your question here, Joe.
Uncle Steve, real simple. Savior or hype? I'll let you guys go.
You had how many weeks? And your question is, hey, what do you think of that new Mets owner? Nope. That's what you decided. That's
the only bit of baseball news I've read in the last.
Because month. He decided this question within the last 30 minutes.
No, I thought of it as soon as you asked me. I was like, oh, I got a good question.
Yeah. Fantastic question. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is just a gut prediction because I really don't know much about the guy, and neither does anyone else from a sports perspective. He was never involved in sports at all. I'll say he does a good job. And I'm going to say that mostly because you can't be much worse than the Wilpons.
Yeah, it was bad.
Okay, I'm going to say hype. But I think that he's going to do a good job in some aspects. I just think that this could possibly end up like when the Russian guy bought the Nets and we had all that hype and then he made that one dumb fucking move that put them back about 6 years. I think that he's going to go pretty hard. I think he's going to make some big moves, and I think that it's going to look good. But they're the Mets. They always look good on paper, and then they shit the fucking fan as soon as the season starts because their players are mentally soft and they give up. Just like Stroman gave up on the fucking team and still ended up making $19 million for next season because the Mets are fucking stupid. That is a Mets move. They have a new owner, and they still gave Stroman $19 million. Stroman can go suck a fucking dick. He sucks. He's awful. He is trash. And he knows he's trash, which is why he blocks half of Yankee Twitter because he's so sensitive to everyone telling him he's trash. You're trash. I still think you're trash. You block me on every platform I have. You can come to my door and punch me in my face. I still think you're trash. You're trash.
I would pay money to see Marcus Stroman come to your door and punch you in the face.
So would I, because I would get all that money when I sue his ass off.
All right. I think we're done.
Okay.
This is 27 Down, Perfect Podcast for the perfect game. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you next week. God damn it. What? See, we were so good. We were almost done with the episode, and you have to ruin it with that. Joe, cut his mic. I'll talk to you for 5 minutes. Go away, CJ.
That was good timing. That was good timing.
No, he always with the good timing. I hate your good timing.